Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 12 tells us, hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all transgression. So as we begin to think about that, hatred stirs up strife. Now, remember, they're all in the context right here of Proverbs chapter 10, talking about the babbling fool, the one who continues to babble on with his mouth. And probably what they're talking about right here, hatred stirs up strife. When you have a heart of hatred, when you have a heart of bitterness, and that root of bitterness has grabbed a hold of you, and that root of bitterness has then stirred up hatred within your heart, you're going to start babbling off some hateful things. You're going to start saying some hateful things. And as you start to say those hateful things, it is going to quite obviously stir up a lot of strife. And so that happens in relationships between husbands and wives. That happens between parents and children in both directions. That happens within churches, that happens in schools, that happens in workspaces, it happens all over the world in all situations, and hatred is just going to stir up strife. And so as we continue to look at that and begin to think about that, I'm just going to skip the next part right here because I want to reserve it all by itself. Hatred stirs up strife. And then it goes on to verse 13. It says, on the lips of the discerning, wisdom is found. On the lips of the discerning, wisdom is found. So if wisdom is found on the lips of the discerning, then they're gonna know, those who have wisdom, it's gonna know when to speak and know when to keep silent. Verse 14 goes on to say, wise men store up knowledge, but with the mouth of the foolish, ruin is at hand. The wise men, they store up knowledge. They collect that knowledge and they know what to say, when to say it, how to say it, where to say it, when not to say it, where not to say it, how not to say it. They're going to store up that knowledge. They're going to have the wisdom within them. And if you're just so full of rage, you don't even know what to say. The best thing is don't say anything at all. Because in the middle of all of this, something, if you're reading along with, you probably noticed I skipped over. It says in verse 13, the latter part of that, but a rod is for the back of him who lacks understanding. So with that one who has hatred, that one who has rage, and he begins to run off at the mouth, and as he begins to run off at the mouth, not thinking about what he's saying, not caring who he's saying it to, not caring how he's saying it, just saying it with a mouth full of hate. Not using wisdom, not storing up wisdom, knowing what to say, when to say it, how to say it, where to say it, instead just babbling off at the mouth at all times. The Bible says, but a rod is for the back of him who lacks understanding. What does that mean? I mean, punishment is going to come your way. Punishment is going to come your way. In one way or the other, punishment is going to come your way as a result of that hatred, letting loose your lips and just letting it fly. It's going to backfire on you. It's not going to help your cause. It's not going to help your case. Instead, it's going to hurt you. So what you need to do is you need to be wise and walk in wisdom. Know what to say, when to say it, where to say it, how to say it, and how not to say it, and when not to say it. That only comes through wisdom.